Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Strange Brews. I'm here with Sean, and today we're gonna take a break from the normal deck tech thing that we've been doing, and we're gonna kick it back with a Time Spiral Remastered set in review episode. We're gonna try and make this just kind of a casual discussion on, quite frankly, my favorite set in the past, like in recent memory. I don't know how you feel about Time Spiral Remastered, Sean.
I would put my favorite set as Commander Legends, but Time Spiral Remastered honestly, I think is a fantastic set. It's not the most that resonates to me personally, because I've never been like a super I love the Old Border so much, but there's it's just a really great set, and there's just so much good about it. It's one of the best products as far as products that they've made in years, and it's fantastic. I absolutely agree with that is fantastic.
I on the old border thing, I don't know that I'm specifically, because that is probably my favorite aspect of this set, and I think it's a lot of people's favorite aspect
Oh
of this
yeah,
set.
oh yeah.
It's not that I'm specifically in love with the old border so much as my favorite printings of Magic cards are either new art in old border or old border with new or old art with new border.
Mm.
So like I would always, if given the choice, I would play the Counterspell F&M promo every time with like the alpha art, but it's in like the modern card frame. Uh,
Mm.
Vice versa, my favorite printing of Crucible of Worlds still is the old border Judge promo. And I think that a lot of people had love for those. Same with there was a Dark Confidant, and there were a couple of others that had an old border but new art, and it was a new card. Um, but I think that probably led to the interest in those led to this set, or at least the time shifted slot. But this set also has like crazy good cards in it. Gemstone Caverns has approximately one printing other than here, and it was in Time Spiral. So
Yeah, well, yeah. A lot of people. I remember when it was spoiled, and I remember people saying, "Wait, I forgot that this was printed in Time Spiral." So I mean, of course, it would come back here, but yeah, that was like a $60 or $80 card, like
it was
before
a
the
$60
reprinting.
card for a
Yeah,
long time
and now it's
because
probably gonna be like a $20 card settling out. Yeah,
uh,
at least for a bit.
I would say if you can find it at 20, it is worth it to buy it at 20 because
Yeah.
I fully expect, and I'm not a finance guy at all, but I can read like if the writing on the wall, so to speak, is written in big block letters, I can read it. This like Tarmogoyf will retain some kind of price memory.
Oh yeah,
Pact of
absolutely.
Negation was a $5 card, and before the reprinting here, it was a $30 card. Like it got reprinted in oh crap, was it Masters 25? I think it got reprinted in, and it was like a
Yeah.
$5 card, which was an insane price for a free counterspell, and they went back up to 30 by the time it got reprinted here. So that was one thing I did want to, like, a big PSA to all of our listeners. If like some of these staples, pick them up at these prices. Like Dryad Arbor isn't really a staple, but it's a very highly played card in a lot of casual decks, and it you can do some cute things with it here. Um, Pick it up at $6. Like that's a unique card with a unique effect, and it's like uniquely interacts with other cards, and it's also been like $15-$20 for like a long time.
Yeah.
Urborg too. Get your Urborgs now, and your Gemstone Caverns, and your Swarm Yards, because that was another rare that was really expensive for no reason.
Yeah, and like other things, like things that are just kind of kind of expensive just because they only ever got one printing, like didn't like a casual staple, Damnation. You know,
Oh,
that's only
Damnation.
ever seen
Well,
it.
Damnation is also played in like modern.
Oh
It's a
yeah, no,
sideboard card in
it's
other
definitely
formats. But yeah,
yeah.
that how much is it actually? I don't know.
The Time Spiral one is $30.
That's
It
not
was in
bad.
like modern. Before that, it was in Planar Chaos, and then Modern Masters, and then it was in a secret layer drop. It was
This
also like an
probably won't.
invocation and a judge promo, but that doesn't matter as far as
This probably
price.
won't affect the price a ton, will it? Though, because
Uh, no, it's
it's
like
at
10.
Mythic.
It's like $5 less than the other one. But I
I
mean, it's
got
just
lucky and pulled a foil one, so like I'm happy with that. But
yeah,
I
it's just really cool to see, cards like this get reprinted.
It's really cool to see Dryad Arbor getting reprinted at Rare, which, while that is technically an upshift from the original Time Spiral block, I think it's fine as a Rare. I'm perfectly happy with it as a Rare,
Yeah,
and getting it reprinted at Rare so it's like $6 a copy is I can't stress
yeah,
enough how awesome that is.
yeah. And there's so many cards. There's at least one card a pack that you're like, I could play this somewhere. Like I'm just gonna
Oh
scroll
yeah.
down. Like I opened a box like just before this. I opened my box because it got here, and there was I have like a stack of cards, not including the time shifted ones because I put them in a separate thing, but of like playable cards. I was just getting out. And I'm just gonna like start scrolling down the Scryfall card gallery, and it's just like, all right, we got Angel's Grace, Aven Mind, in white, Angel's Grace, Aven Mind Sensor. There's Mangara got reprinted. There's a Mana Type if you want to have a meme.
Mana
There's
Tithe
all these.
reprinted at common and not uncommon, which again is
Wait, was it only ever uncommon before?
no, it was a common in
Okay,
Planar
it was
Chaos,
okay.
but they didn't upshift it to uncommon, which I was really expecting, and that's you can get people with Mana Tithe just like you can get people with Force Spike.
Yeah, you got like a really good casual card like Return to Dust. You got some slivers get reprinted, scrolling down, and then you get the
Oh
blue. It's like, oh,
yeah.
we got Ancestral Visions. That's a modern card. We got Delay. We play with that card. Then we got
Have I
look, there's
ever
a
did I ever tell you about my obsession with slivers when I first started playing? So
everyone has a sliver phase. Like
oh,
it's just
I like
it's
how
so
it's
true.
a phase. Um, when I had just my first set technically was Dark Ascensions because my first
Mhm.
product was like a two-player like draft battle kit, which was like 230 card pre-constructed decks, and then like two packs or one pack of Dark Ascension each. So I bought that just for myself, and I bought the Sorin V Tybalt dual deck, which, of course, because I knew nothing about the game, I thought Planeswalkers were cool, and the really cheap one must be really cool.
I
Um,
mean, you're not incorrect.
I do like, though, as a side note, I like that my first favorite card in Magic was a red Planeswalker. It was like foretelling things to come. But my first set where I really started to get into it in like a major way was actually M14. And
Mm,
the first pack of M14 I opened, the first common right in the front was Predatory Sliver. And I read it and I looked at the art and I was like, this is cool. Like what are slivers? What do they do? And before long I was just like buying as many slivers as I could and building these ridiculous decks. And when I got to high school, one of my mom's coworkers was like, "Hey, I used to play Magic. Like, you like slivers, right? I'll give you my old slivers deck." And I was like, "Oh, awesome! I can add all those cards." That was around the time I started to build my Sliver Overlord Commander deck. Right? It was
mm.
like right around the time I discovered Commander because my first Commander deck was Prosh. And then
Nice.
I started to like look into building my own. So I was like, man, if I have more slivers, especially some of the older ones, then build I can build this sliver commander deck and be able to play slivers in commander. And so he brings over what I realized was actually a Time Spiral block era standard deck. It was a sliver deck, and it had a Sliver Legion in it.
Wow.
And at the time, like, I knew kind of like some cards were worth a lot more, and I knew that Sliver Legion specifically at the time was like a $55 card because I had looked into buying it because I wanted to buy every sliver, and as like a 14-year-old, I was like, whoa, I'll never spend that much on a piece of cardboard. um, and so this guy just gives me this deck with the Sliver Legion, and I was like, you know this is like an expensive card, right? And he's like a pharmacist, so he's not like hurting for money, and he's like, yeah, no, it's fine. Like, you're gonna have more fun with it than I do.
Oh my.
So for me, seeing slivers in this set is part of the reason I love it so much, is because it reminds me of when I started playing.
And in fact, Sliver Legion did get a reprint.
I know, and I didn't open one.
It's down from like $120 to $50 for this
Jesus,
printing,
it is not $100 card. Like, I know people love slivers. Sliver Queen, fine, because it's like a cool combo card.
I mean, it was at that much because it is one very good. It's a great card for like EDH Sliver Tribal, which, as you know, everyone has a Sliver phase. Everyone plays slivers at some point, and it was only ever printed in Future Sight at Rare. That's the only printing it ever got, except for the Judge promo, but we don't count those because there's like 3 of them that got printed. Yeah.
Holy shit, Sliver Overlord is like a $50 card now.
Yeah, all of the like 5-color slivers are like.
Well, Sliver Queen I knew like went wild because she's on the reserved list. And actually, speaking of, while we're on the topic of slivers, the most expensive card I bought as like a kid was a Sliver Queen. An HP Sliver Queen that I bought at my LGS for $30 or $35, and it was the most I had ever spent on a card, and I was like, this is the most expensive card I'm ever going to buy. I actually got that post in my Facebook memories lately.
Oh, no.
That was like, well, this is the most money I've ever spent on a Magic card, and now I'm out. I don't even want to know, like...
Do you want me to tell you how much it is now?
Your or Sliver Queen?
Yeah, Sliver Queen from Stronghold. It's $600.
Oh god.
If you kept that, it probably near mint one is. Market price is like $375. You'd probably be able to get at least let's see, is there any there's a moderately played. Oh my goodness, they all still wait a minute. They all still go for like $500. Wait.
Yeah, so maybe the market price hasn't caught up yet.
Oh my goodness, they're also the cheapest one I'm seeing is like $500.
All right.
Oh
let's
my
change
goodness.
the subject. But okay, so that, like I said, that one I get because you play that and then you play Mana Echoes, and then you have infinite creatures.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like, but the other ones, like, the only reason they're going up is because they're slivers. And people are obsessed with sliver.
Yep.
Like you said, people have a sliver phase.
I had an Eldrazi phase, so I'm special.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel like a lot... I skipped past my Eldrazi phase because it was sort of tied in with my Marin of Clan Neltoth. I'll call that a phase, too. Everyone goes through the big value graveyard deck phase.
Yeah, everyone has a graveyard
My problem
phase.
is I've never left it, and my favorite decks are the ones that play with the graveyard. But it's also kind of, I mean, my current tastes are if my stacks phase, like my heavy stacks phase from like 2 years ago, made a baby with my graveyard phase from like 6 years ago.
Phase. I entered the stacks phase, and I'm still in the stacks phase. I was born in the stacks phase.
No, it started 2 years ago. It's not. It hasn't.
The stacks phase
really
never
dissipated.
left.
If you ever cast a turn 1 Trinisphere, how can you ever beat that feeling?
I was playing Mono Red Prison and Legacy the other day. It's really fun.
No, there's a guy in my local area who always wants to play Legacy, and I used to play with him all the time. Mono Red Prison and Burn. And
Sounds like he just has a bunch of red cards and he wants
so,
he just has all
yeah,
the red cards.
which, let me just get this out of the way. There's absolutely nothing wrong with either of those decks. If every deck in a format that's legal in a format is a viable deck in that format. Here's the thing, though. I play Rug Delver in Legacy, which is a deck that's a lot more fun to play when you have highly interactive matchups. That being said, it's still worth playing the Red Prison and Burn matchups for practice about 20 times each. And then you're not going to get anything else out of just jamming games against mono red prison. It's like, okay, I need to have a Force of Will in my opening hand
Oh yeah, no,
to
absolutely.
stop your
If
first
you don't
prison
have it-
piece, and if
yeah.
I do that and then followed up with a Wasteland, you just lose the game. I don't need to practice that matchup. I know how that matchup plays out. And same with Burn. I mean, Burn's a little different because the way that it has creatures that actually do things, and it has instants and sorceries that actually matter. Like, it's a little bit different, but also after you've played against, if my only option is just to play against Burn game after game after game after game, I'd rather just like not play Legacy. Because the whole point of Legacy to me is to play these kind of mental magic, like it's pretty common to say that a lot of Legacy less happens on the battlefield and more of it happens in the hands. Like, that's where most of the action is in Legacy. And if you're playing against Burn, you're like, okay, well, your hand is land, a Price of Progress / Fire Blast, Lightning Bolt / like, it's like the cards in your hand deal direct damage. Cool. I have these tools to stop that, and I have a limited number of threats in my deck. So, none of which can really beat you pre-board. Post-board, I just put in Clothis. Because, like,
Oh, that's true.
whatever.
And then you're like, all right, I guess.
Yeah. I put in Clothis, and I put in, like, maybe I put in a Surgical, because I don't like Price of Progress. But, like, whatever.
Oh, that's great.
I'll just sit here and win the game.
Oh my god.
With a piece that you can't interact with. And then it was, it did help having stuff like Oko, because Oko could survive, like, he would take 2 burn spells to kill. Like, there is no deal 5 or deal 6.
Yeah, and he would always like gain you 3 life at some point.
Yeah, so he was really good for stabilizing against burn, but now that that's gone, it's like, well, I can't do a whole lot against you game 1, so let's go to game 2 immediately. I'll sideboard in Clothis, and then I will just counter every spell you play until you're dead from Clothis.
Yeah.
So you don't really get anything out of that matchup either. Yeah. So Mono Red Prison, just automatically I hear the name and I cringe just a little bit. Even though, ironically, that is the CEDH deck I'm known for. Is literally Mono Red Prison.
I mean, your user picture is literally Duretti.
I am Duretti. I am the Pope of the Goblin
I am
Church.
Duretti.
I am the Goblin Pope.
Yeah, and I mean, if you just look at like the list of cards reprinted in, especially in like a lot of the old border time shifted ones.
Oh,
we've been talking about Legacy. There's so many like cards that like see play in various forms in there.
Staples across every format, which I really like.
Format.
Sorcerers Spyglass, that's the vintage staple. Did you know that?
Well, that's a staple in any any
but
format.
That's where that's like a really common sideboard piece, because 2 mana on turn 1 is something you do very easily in vintage.
That is in fact a correct statement.
Like, well, so Sorcerer's Spyglass sees a lot more play than something like Pithing Needle in vintage. Even though I play Pithing Needle in the board of Rug Delver. I wouldn't play Sorcerer's Spyglass, but you see Sorcerer's Spyglass a lot in vintage. So there are literally time
Yeah,
shifted cards across, like staples across every format, and
yeah.
that's
Like
really
I'm
cool to
looking at
me.
this now, and like you got like, look at that. There's like, just looking at them, just like, oh, we got Containment Priest, Ethereal Armor for like Bogles. We got Flicker Wisp. We got Lingering Souls. We got Palace Jailer, Path to Exile,
Okay,
Restoration.
so here's a question for
That's
you.
just the white cards. Draven
Where is
Effect.
where is Palace Jailer a staple from?
I know that it has seen some play in a Legacy D&D. I know that.
Correct. It's
Yeah,
DNT
yep.
removal.
That's where
Um,
yeah.
do you know how I learned how Emrakul's protection from colored spells works? Is
Or the Palace
by
Jailer.
getting
Oh,
mine Palace Jailered when I played Show and Tell. And I was like, wait a minute, that's cheating. And then I was like,
no, it's
oh, no,
actually.
no, it's not.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, blue, we got Baral and Labman and Master of the Pearl Trident actually got a reprint.
Labman, where I get my, I don't know if people know anymore that that's where my Twitter handle comes from.
Yep. I was,
Was in reference
honestly,
to
when I
Labman.
first saw that, I thought it was Ristic Study. But
See, and that I get that a lot. I got Alexander Clambleton a lot because people thought that I had made my account like right around, which I'm fine with being associated with that card. That card's awesome.
yeah.
But no, yeah, the time shifted cards are really cool, and I
Fantastic. They're
actually,
like an
as
absolute
someone
knockout of the park.
as someone who doesn't really care about limited, I would want to draft this. Because the time shifted
Yeah.
cards have such a crazy effect on the game.
Yeah, it's such.
On
I
drafting.
mean, this whole thing in general has all kinds of like super powerful cards, and is in a very much like it's
Correction. The set has super powerful cards and Tomb Stalker.
and
Which was a waste of a rare slot. I'm sorry.
yeah, but was it? But it was printed in the original, right?
So what? There were other black rares. You could have printed Bridge from Below in that slot. Whatever.
That's true. You can print a bridge from below.
They've established that that's a rare, like Double Master, or not Double Masters, Ultimate Masters established that that's probably just a rare from now on, which, like, yeah, exactly, but nope, we're gonna put Tombstalker in there instead. I hate that
Yeah.
card.
No, I honestly, to talk about like a different aspect of this, it's a real shame that it's going to be a very limited print run, just a singular print run, and that we're not going to, and that for many people, it is not possible to draft this in person.
And
Their stores just aren't open. They don't have anywhere to go. They probably, maybe they don't have a play group that they go with. They usually go to their store. I know that very rarely that some stores are like open doing game nights like with like social distancing
with
and
dubious,
being very
yeah, I was
safe.
gonna say with dubious safety, like depending on the store. I've
Yeah.
seen some
I've
really,
seen some where
really
it's done it really poorly.
angering pictures.
Yeah,
on
but
the
I've also
internet.
seen some where they're doing it fine and well, and I'm like, all right, it's if everyone's going to get back together for Magic, I can't really blame them that much.
No, and I've gotten together safely with friends, like to play CEDH or Commander. But
Yeah,
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 that does suck.
and it really sucks because I also really want to draft this because I watched the professor's video on it. He was talking about how much it really feels like Time Spiral. Like it
It's a
feels
time
like
machine,
a condensed.
I think is his
Yeah,
exact
it's
wording.
a time.
It's a
yeah.
time machine.
And I didn't play in Time Spiral. I only got into Magic in
no.
the past couple of years. So I, for me, like I want to experience that, and I'm probably gonna go do some draft on like MTGO. I'm probably gonna do that at some point before it's gone. But
No, this set
it's
it sucks that it's a limited print run, but it is also that has also driven my philosophy on this set, which is anywhere I can find it, I am going to buy it, and I'm going to keep buying this set until I can't find it anywhere anymore because every pack is a winner. I have literally never opened a set where every pack I felt like I had gotten something out of it.
yeah, like even just there were so many ones where I got like a kind of like middling like random time shifted like card that I've maybe
An
played like.
Angel of Salvation as your rare, but then you got like some cool time shifted card, and no matter what
Yeah.
time shifted card, it's still a time shifted
It still
card.
looks cool.
Like PSA
so many
to
of
all
them
our
are, like-
listeners: sit on your time shifted cards.
Oh,
Do not,
yeah.
If you're planning on selling those, like if you pull something nuts like a foil Thoughtseize, and you're like, man, I gotta sell that. It's like $300. Sit on it,
No.
and it'll be $5.
Sit on it.
Like that.
Stick it in like double sleeve it, and then stick it in one of like the hard cases, and then just put it away. Like I have my first pack, I only opened one time shifted foil, Knight of the Reliquary, nowhere near the price of Thoughtseize, but it's $60. And this thing is gonna go up because because they're very rare and they're not getting reprinted.
They're all going to go up. So
yeah,
a time shifted
even
card.
the most,
they started going up the day after the set came out.
Yeah, even the most basically once it became confirmed that this was not gonna see any more reprints, and once everyone's like, oh wait, this is not getting reprinted.
Well, right. That was.
And then everyone starts to buy all of them up, and then
So
they
just for perspective, I pre-ordered a box at 200, and then I bought my second box and the rest of the open store box, which was like 15 packs worth. I bought that second sealed box for 220, and that was a week ago. It was like a week ago, and today I checked the price per box, and it's like $350.
Yeah.
Not only is this like a really good set, like it's a lot. People are opening these. People are cracking these all the time because of all the good stuff that's in it. Box prices are going to go up, which means that less and less is going to get opened on a regular basis, which means that the single prices are going to go up.
Yeah, honestly,
which means that your time shifted cards, even if they're not foil, are gonna go up. I know it's like, oh, these are like 50 cents. I cannot see any of these in like a year, like the cheapest one being less than $5. Just because where else are you gonna? They're not gonna reprint the time shifted cards in their time shifted frame. That is something that's only gonna happen in this set.
Yeah.
I've thought about this a lot. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah, no. Yeah, like, yeah, especially if you have the foil ones, especially because those I believe are like, those are quite rare. You only get 1 to 2 of them per box on average. Well, you got lucky and got 3.
I got 3 foil time shifted cards between my basically 3 boxes.
Yeah,
I didn't get any of the crazy ones, but I didn't do too bad.
Yeah, I got another Reliquary, which is a played card, so it's pretty average.
I can't figure out why Tiedown Scholar is $80. Listeners, if you know, like, if there is, because I've been told that it's played in Modern. I've been told that it's played in like Modern sideboards, especially decks with like onboard sack outlets because it has the O-ring text. So Tiedown Scholar, for anyone who doesn't know, is a white and a black for an artifact creature zombie. It's a 2/2, and when it enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand and you exile a card from it. I think it's non-land card, or maybe it's just card. And then when it leaves the battlefield, you put that card back in their hand. I've been told that it's mostly been replaced in Modern by Kitesail Freebooter, just because that's a flyer, and flying, even at like 1 less power, is a lot better than that extra power. But if you have an onboard sack outlet, you can play Tiedown Scholar and sack it in response to its enter the battlefield trigger. And then the leaves the battlefield trigger goes on the stack, and then that resolves, and then you just exile whatever card you want from their hand.
Yes, the important thing to note is that some time ago, these type of effects, the templating on them was changed. For ones like Tiedown Sculptor and Oblivion Ring and stuff like that.
Banishing Light is fixed Oblivion Ring.
Yeah,
That's the easiest comparison.
like text box. So if you remove it in response to second response, just nothing happens. It's all
Have
one.
you ever? Did you ever, when you were like learning to play Magic, did you ever remove an O-ring in response to that trigger? Or did you go, I'm gonna kill this, and it's like,
No, I know.
okay, well,
I don't think I've actually played against much O rings ever.
that was how I. Well, they used to when I played Commander, like casual Commander, really heavily. It was like Kaladesh, and O-ring was still like a decent card in like white. Like obviously, it's weird talking about that, even that quote unquote long ago, because it feels so recent. But Magic has gone kind of nuts lately.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it has.
So,
I
but yeah, I blew up an O-ring in response to that trigger, and
felt really dumb afterwards.
yeah, I felt really really dumb.
Man,
But anyways, I was gonna say, if anyone can tell me, like, why Tide Hollow Scholar is an $80 time shifted foil, and Knight of the Reliquary, which is also played in Legacy, or it used to be played in Legacy, why that isn't worth more. Like, someone please explain this to me. Like, I need to know what I'm missing.
It might be that Knight of the Reliquary is just a card that got printed more, so the base price is just lower.
Except,
Maybe?
except Tide Hollow Scholar was like $1 uncommon. Like,
True. And even base Knight of the Reliquary from Conflux is like $3.
yeah, so there's
yeah.
I cannot figure out the reason. But anyways,
Yes. You should tweet about this later. Like, hey, can someone please tell me why this is so expensive? What does it even say play in? Yeah.
so let's talk about, just real quick before we start to wrap up. This is the first remastered set in paper, but this is not the first remastered set. Because remastered sets have actually existed for a little while now on Magic Online. Was it Tempest Remastered? I think was a curated remastering of the Tempest block, which was Tempest Stronghold and crap, I can't remember the other set.
Yeah,
but it was like Tempest Stronghold, the other set from that block, which had stuff like Sliver Queen, Humility, like a lot of weird old cards. But that was a thing that existed on Magic Online.
Yeah.
This is the first time that they've done a set like that in paper.
Yeah, and more recently as well, they have been doing remastered sets on Magic Arena that like go into historic. Like they've been kind of like working backwards. Like they've done, like they did like a Kaladesh remastered of note, like of recently on Magic Arena, which is also like a curated like combination list thing. Which is cool, whatever.
I like these in paper.
Yeah, I hope that they do this again.
I really, really do. I think that they would be foolish not to, considering
like,
how successful this one is.
Innistrad Remastered.
Well, that's the obvious one. Or Ravnica Remastered is kind of obvious too.
Or like, you know, Tarkir, and that would be a great place to reprint.
I was gonna say Zendikar Remastered.
Yeah, Zendikar and Tarkir would both be great.
Then,
they could put.
You know what else really needs reprints? The original Titans. Do you know how much an original Ulamog is? It's like it's close to $100. Like, it's kind of insane how high those are getting. So a Zendikar Remastered would be really awesome. You put Jace the Mind Sculptor in there.
Ulamog, the infinite gyre. Yeah, yes. He's like 60 to $65.
Yeah, they're going up there. So they hit $100 on, like, MTG Stock said something about it, about how one of the Titans got really, really high. That sounds like the beginning of like a bad Magic and like marijuana joke. One of the Titans got really, really high.
Ulamog's Ceaseless Hunger is even a little higher. It's $70.
Is that the battle one?
Yeah, that's the battle.
It's a $70 card. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
just like everyone has a sliver phase, some people have a sliver phase, some people have an Eldrazi phase. It's one of those things. It's one of those things that at some point people either build a sliver deck or an Eldrazi deck or both. Like
We
it
need
just
to
happens.
we need to
I went
define
for
all of these
Eldrazi.
phases. We need
Yeah, we
to
need to define the
someday
phases
go
of
through
Commander
and
players.
define all these phases. But
It's
what do
not
you
a
think
phase.
about remastered sets? Have you played with any before? Like other than the arena ones? Like I forgot that those were technically remastered sets, but did you ever
No,
draft
I've never.
Tempest or
Oh no, because that came out before. That came out before my time of playing MTGO, let alone Magic. I'm pretty sure. Um, yeah, I. But honestly, just more of this, please. It feels like it's a mix of. It's like a. It's like a Masters set, but better.
Oh yeah.
I.
No,
I.
this is I would much rather if they are looking for something to replace that slot with, just do this and I will be
Like
so
there
happy.
is so much value in this box. This box, absent the lack of additional print runs, this box
Well, I was
like
gonna say
cheaper than Purple
that
Masters, but
actually ties it to closer to like master sets that they're
yeah.
not doing additional print runs of, like it's a limited run.
Mhm.
And given the choice between the two, like limited print run and all, I would just take the remastered sets because, as Prof said in that video, it is for people who weren't able to draft Time Spiral. This is as close as you're gonna get in a feasible price range.
Yeah.
Like he had prices for Time Spiral block boxes in his videos, and like normal person who's like unless you're like insanely into draft and you're a sealed collector and yada yada, you're not going to be buying an original Time Spiral box just to like crack packs and draft with. But with this, it's like well, I mean, at least it is now. I don't know how high these boxes are going to get, but it is as close as you're going to get feasibly to that draft experience. And like I said, as someone who doesn't usually go for draft, I would be interested in drafting this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Also, I just want to point out that I think Time Spiral boxes are like like 1,200 or something
Yeah, that
dollars.
sounds about right.
Yeah, but hey, individual packs are apparently only $30. So
Whoa!
if
You
you
could
wanted
draft
to
for
play some sealed,
$100.
yeah, you could do it. You could do it.
You shouldn't.
Except for the fact that that was just the original Time Spiral set and not
Yeah.
block.
So for
So
the
you
price
have
of
to-
so sealed is 6 packs, right?
yes.
So for the price of playing a sealed event for original Time Spiral, you can basically buy an entire box or at release, you could buy an entire box of Time Spiral Remastered. Which one do you think is more worth it?
I don't know, man. Everyone make up their own choices on that.
All right. I think we should wrap this up. Final
Yeah.
thoughts, final comments.
I hope they do more of these. If they wanted to do more print, if they listened to the community and were like, all right, fine, I guess we'll do more print runs, that would be fantastic. But you know what? It is what it is. Print run stuff happens. It is what it is. They decide how much they want.
I'm pretty sure
I
that
just
you
hope-
could use that as a summary for like Jumpstart as a set.
Oh,
print
we'll
run
have to talk
stuff
about it some other
happens.
time, but print run stuff happens.
That could be like the title, like where it says remastered under Time Spiral. It could be like Jumpstart. Print run stuff happens.
Yeah, if we were doing the podcast at the time, that 90% would have been.
God. Also, do you remember how
goodness.
everyone was like, Allosaurus Rider is only an almost $100 card because Jumpstart is like so limited in printing, and now it's like 250.
Yeah, it's
And I
kind of
sold mine.
expensive.
It's a good thing it's a good thing no deck plays it besides like Gitrog.
I mean, I play it in Sisay.
Well, I was referring to non-strange brews, like
Oh, you mean like
meta decks. I think the only
Yeah.
one that plays it is Gitrog. Because what else cares about their creatures that much?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's just green spells, right?
Is it just green spells?
Yeah.
Okay, so in Gitrog, that protects Gitrog, crop rotation. So, like, basically your entire. Uh, everything. It protects everything you need to win. And it does not protect Demonic Consultation or Thassa's Oracle.
Yeah, so who
So
needs
why
it?
would you play it in
Why
anything
would you
else?
play it? Yeah.
Sean, where can people find you?
You can find me at DeathSingerly on Twitter. I have been posting quite a bit recently talking about Stick Safe and spoilers, mainly about how like ridiculously awesome the art is. And I'm for all of the mystical archive stuff. And I'm sure we will
Yeah,
talk about this at some
Tainted
point.
Pack got spoiled today.
Oh,
and
yeah,
we
a
were in
little
a
bit of-
Discord call with Braden from the Seed.
He lost his
and
mind.
he kind of freaked out a bit.
He
so.
lost his mind. Yeah, yeah. And I'm certain we will talk about that at all that stuff at some point because that's looking pretty good. So
Yeah.
if you want to hear me talk about that, just kind of as it's going on, you can check me out on Twitter at there. Where can people find you, Josh?
I am on Twitter as well. I'm at 2intoblue. I tweet very profane things about Magic the Gathering and specifically Commander.
Wait, what does that mean? Hold up.
Oh, that just means that I realized lately that the majority of my tweets use the word fuck at least once.
Oh.
So, but I am pretty passionate. I think that's a good thing. So, yep,
Yeah.
at 2intoblue. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter, which is at SBS_cast. And you can find all of our videos and future episodes right here on YouTube on the Strange Brews channel. And we post videos Sunday around noon Central Time. And you should really be excited for the next couple episodes because we are going to be having our first ever guest. And we're going to leave that as a surprise as to who that is. But it's someone that Sean and I have been talking about since before we even recorded the first episode, having on as a guest.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be pretty awesome.
So, yep. Until next time, this has been another episode of Strange Brews.